I'm a professional as of 3 weeks ago, AJ. LinkedIn is filling the Tea and Tech Live with me today, and we're breaking a brand new product launch here at LinkedIn headquarters. I'm here with the VP of Product, Yanda Sachdeva. Yanda, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So today, LinkedIn is announcing AI-powered people search, and we're about to get into it. Can't wait. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this. LinkedIn has always talked about creating economic opportunity as our mission. And at the heart of that mission is a simple belief that opportunities always start with connections. And it could be any kind of connection, someone who can help you land a job, someone you want to start a company with. And so what we are doing with search now is we're taking it beyond the keyword search product that it has been, where you have to type a keyword to find the right set of people. And just in case you didn't know what those keywords were, you're at a loss. Or you have to type in some filters to narrow down your search. And if that filter did not exist, again, the search could fail you. So now what we're doing is with AI-powered search, you can just type in like you think, just in natural language, and be able to find the people you need. And there are so many cool use cases of this, but you could search for, you went to Berkeley, so UC Berkeley alumni who are in biotech now, or you could search for people in your network who have done both product and design work, or people who can help you file a patent, things like that, which were, again, like possible in the past, but very complicated, and now much, much easier, and perhaps broadens the aperture of what you can do on the platform.
I love that. So it's not just keywords anymore. It's like I can just talk to my LinkedIn and find what I'm looking for.
That's right. That's right. It creates opportunity for both the people who are searching, but also the people who are going to get discovered on the other side, because we really want to make sure that those connections have an opportunity to form in the most easy, efficient way. And AI as a technology is enabling that.
Yeah, I mean, AI actually helping humans connect with each other. Yeah. Who would have thought?
Yeah. Putting humans at the center. One of my favorite sort of use cases of AI-powered search is if you're just graduating from a program and you're wondering how to get into a new industry. Now you can find people who've made that transition. So you could say, hey, I just graduated with a degree in psychology and I want to enter tech. Like, what's my pathway? And I think in the past, this would require a ton of research to figure out how you do it. And perhaps it takes many years before you do it. But perhaps you can find people on LinkedIn who have made that transition, especially in UXR. Like UX research is perfect for this because you understand the behavioral elements and psychology of people, but then you apply it to tech, and UXR is used in tech very widely. But these kinds of searches where you can build a bridge between where you are and where you want to go using AI-powered people search are my favorite. And I hope like people who are graduating now and looking and starting to think about their careers and looking for jobs can use it to understand what all the options look like and who they can reach out to, frankly, to see how it can be done.
Yeah, I think that search bar, it's like a tiny but mighty feature, right? It's so tiny, but at the same time, it has the power to really democratize the whole platform with proper search.
It really is. Like, it's the whole professional graph at your disposal, and you can unlock it by asking it whatever is top of mind for you. And oftentimes, like, I think you see the results, you're like, oh, there's another way to think about this. Now let me take it in this direction and that direction. And I think, honestly, that's always been the vision for search, but with this new technology, it becomes a lot easier to bring it to market. So very excited for that.
Yeah. And I think, for LinkedIn power users, maybe they were able to use the keywords, but I think this makes it way more accessible to maybe college grads or maybe, people who don't use LinkedIn every day to kind of just talk to the platform.
That's right. That's right. And it's also like a consumer behavior shift that's happening more broadly outside LinkedIn. So it's aligned from how people expect to use AI, but also to your point, like it increases the accessibility to people who otherwise wouldn't have thought about it.
I mean, I think this is just kind of demonstrative of LinkedIn's investment in AI, right? And you're leading the charge. So maybe tell us a little about how AI is powering the platform back end and front end, right?
Yeah, so AI, you're right. Like, so AI is a massive tech shift for every company, including LinkedIn. And we have a number of products now that people have been using, and we are starting to see really good results from. So I'll share some. One of them is AI-powered profile editing. So now we can take a look at your profile, and you can use these AI features to go and craft a better headline, a better about section, a better experience section to stand out more. And this AI is driven off of so many profiles that we see that are people like you who have been able to put themselves forward in unique ways. And so we suggest, hey, how about you put your about section like this versus that? And we always encourage people to edit and modify. But that's been really cool to see. And people who have used the feature have seen a jump in the number of recruiter views that they get. So that's really exciting. And the other thing that I really love is when people reach out to each other and it's a cold email. It can be really hard to start from a blank canvas. What am I supposed to write? And that's where we have AI-powered suggestions again, where based on the context of your outreach, which could be a warm intro, it is maybe for a job opportunity, we will suggest a draft, and then you go and edit that draft. And I think it just gets people over the hump of like, I don't know how to, and it gets you to that next stage and makes it easier for you to make it your own from that point on. So these are some in addition to the search.
When you think about AI on the platform, do you think of it as supercharging how people are using the product now or taking them in a new direction? Like, which one is it?
It's a little bit of both. Like, I think there are a lot of people, depending on where they are in their professional journey, there are a lot of people who can benefit from AI supercharging their journey because they may not be using LinkedIn the way they can to accelerate their careers. And I think AI can step in both on, editing your profile, reaching out to people, finding people to build your network faster. All of those things can accelerate how you grow in your profession. And we're also starting to think about how just brand new ways in which LinkedIn and AI can show up to help you find opportunities faster. So there's a little bit of both in the mix.
I mean, look, Yanda, my audience knows I'm a LinkedIn first creator, and a lot of the DMs I get are a little bit of paranoia about AI. It's a tense environment out there. So this is kind of an interesting use case where, as far as I understand, LinkedIn is helping people find their next job through AI, but then also helping them upskill a little as well, right? So it's kind of like helping people through that kind of transformation we're going through.
Yeah, to not be so scared of it either, right? Like to make it easy enough and accessible enough to use it in a professional context, so you're not in the backseat of your own career. And so, I think a lot of people are seeing content even in the feed where people are sharing their prompts and people are sharing the courses that they've taken to upskill in AI. And I love seeing that because this is a seismic shift in how people are going to work. So the fact that there is a lot of good knowledge that's circulating now, in addition to the tools we talked about, LinkedIn can be a very valuable resource.
Does any of the user behavior on platform now surprise you?
So what I love seeing are posts which have a ton of conversations on them, and comments viewed have gone up over the last several quarters now. And it's all because I think people are finding it easier to talk here. Perhaps it's what's happened in the industry more broadly that's brought people here, but also because what we have here are trusted voices that you can engage with and that helps your career in some way. So
I mean, it's a little bit of the hack for the social scroll, right? Because you feel like you're being productive. Like my friends are, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm learning something, I'm networking. There's something positive out of the scroll versus like a doom scroll, I feel.
That I think what we want though is like, it should be valuable, right? Like if you're in the feed or on LinkedIn in general, it should be useful time spent. And so I think in those ways, it's lovely to see people engaging with each other more openly and publicly in the feed and sharing their learnings and observations, which is fantastic.
I love that. I mean, I think that brings me to, my journey here, but also where I feel like LinkedIn is going is towards this content journey. So tell me a little about how you think about content creation.
There's a ton of momentum in the product right now. And from a content creation perspective, I've always seen feed do two different things at the same time. The first thing is it lets you stay connected with your network. Oftentimes when you're scrolling in your feed, you see someone who who you worked with, and you like their content more as like, I remember you, or like I want to stay in touch with you, and also because the content itself is valuable. And then there's a whole different use case where you're following people who you trust and who are credible in your industry, and you want to stay on top of what they are saying. So you stay, the top of mind for them is top of mind for you.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting to see these two use cases both grow independently and then together in the feed.
And let's talk about video. I mean, video has kind of skyrocketed probably in the last year or...
Yeah, in the last year, we have seen content creation on video go up dramatically. It is one of our most popular formats. And in fact, not just on the free side, we're also seeing it on the video advertising side, where video ads perform a lot more, they're more engaging. They perform a lot better than non-video ads. There's definitely demand for video, which is what we are seeing right now. But also, like, creators are successful based on the format that's true to them. So we're seeing a lot of that happen.
Yeah, it's about and giving them the tools, and then the creators know what their audience prefers, and giving them that freedom to do it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, one thing I wanted to share with you, Gyanda, is LinkedIn for me has kind of been like a personal arc of my life. This is not sponsored, but literally, I mean, as soon as I left my last corporate job at Snapchat, I started posting on LinkedIn, and it was more like a blog. That's how I thought about it. I can finally talk about the industry without a comms team. As soon as that started taking off digitally, I also saw a transformation really in my personal life offline, where I'd say I was, the life of the party girl at a dinner party. And then as my LinkedIn presence kind of grew and my voice kind of grew out of that, I started being the girl at the party that people were like, what do you think, Meghana?
Oh, that's so cool.
I'd love to pick your brain for a couple of minutes. And this was kind of, an offline new transformation for me. So I always say LinkedIn helped me find my voice, obviously start my business.
That is amazing. First of all, congrats. That's awesome. And we love seeing your content in the feed.
Thank you.
When we think about the feedback that we give to creators, we want to shift to more of the value first metrics, which then tie to economic opportunity in some way. So for example, how many people are saving your content? How many people are sharing your content? How many followers are you getting from this post? It's all because the downstream impact of those shifts is the connection to opportunity. You get reached out by somebody saying, hey, I want to host you for this fireside chat, or let's do a brand deal or a book deal. And those things are not, likes or comments. Those are downstream from all of those behaviors. So we want to shift more and more to showing you those exact outcomes. But then again, a lot of it happens offline, and it's wonderful to hear the impact.
I love that, because I also saw your announcement about the pods, right? And kind of hacking against the engagement pods. And I think it's a broader theme about virality is cool and it's great, and we've been obsessed with it for so long. But what people are craving, in my opinion, and from my audience I see, is substance. I almost think that, with AI in the mix, you get your facts from ChatGPT or, your AI chatbot. You want trusted sources for the opinions. And I think that's where the opportunity is with LinkedIn content. My content, for example, doesn't perform as well on other platforms. The LinkedIn performance, out of the water, because it's more serious, because it's more intentional. And I think that's why for me, I'll always be a LinkedIn first creator, but also my content resonates more with serious people who are there with a serious intention, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think what you said is spot on. When you have information at your fingertips like we do now, I think at some point, it starts to feel like a commodity, right? It's everywhere. Yes. And so to filter through the noise, you have to shift the focus to not just the content itself, but perhaps who's saying it, and what is their credibility in that space. Exactly. So trusted voices, what you said, is actually a really interesting shift that we also see, where people are looking for signals of trust in the sources of the content themselves. And I think that will continue, especially in the professional environment where the stakes are higher and it matters.
I did a video on this, but it's a figure that I'm just obsessed with right now. Gallup released this poll a couple weeks ago that 28% of Americans trust mainstream media. And so just that shift in trust from kind of the mainstream into platforms and kind of trusted voices, I think that's kind of supercharging and powering kind of your product philosophy too, or the two are very much in harmony.
Yeah. I mean, it's exciting to see. It's also interesting because there are so many people who have so much expertise from their lived experience over decades. And it can be so valuable when they come out and share it. And not everyone does that or realizes the value it will create in the society and the industry if they did. So the more success stories like yourself are out there, I hope more and more people are inclined to try it, because their expertise is actually very valuable to someone who's starting out new in the industry
Totally.
or who has no idea how to navigate it.
Totally. And it's true. I mean, Gyanda and I talked about this offline, but I'm full-time creating now. And that's entirely because of LinkedIn. Like that's the reason I started creation and also the reason I was able to monetize it and do it full-time. So thank you.
Yeah.
So before I let you off too easy, we do have a little bit of a hot tea take for you, which is I think a lot about, so when I was at Instagram, one of our kind of core product philosophies that our head of product, Adam, used to talk about was the jobs to be done theory.
Yeah.
And the theory, for those of you that don't know, is this idea that users hire a product to do a job. And when that product no longer does the job, they fire him. And so what I want to ask you, Gyanda, the hot tea take, is LinkedIn, as we just talked about, is doing a lot of jobs right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a hiring platform. It's a social network. It's a content creation, ads. But there's so much and it's amazing.
Yeah.
But is it too many jobs? How do you think about it?
For to do my job, yes, it's too many jobs. But I will, so this is the, I don't know if it's like the beauty behind the complexity, but the reality is that some of these jobs only work if the other jobs work. So here's an example where if you're a hiring manager and you come to LinkedIn and all we had were people who were actively looking for a job, it's a job site. But what you have as a hiring manager is not just active job seekers, but everybody, every professional, so passive job seekers and active job seekers, which increases the chances of you finding the right candidate. The passive job seekers are not going to come here if there was no value for them. That therein comes the content. Now, content will not work if there's no value in the content itself.
That's true.
And so content creation starts to play a role. And then, of course, like this is a great opportunity for advertisers because you have a passive audience with content. Yeah. So I think it's funny. Like it's complex, but it only works because each of these other parts of the puzzle are moving. It is.
It works.
It is. And I think, but it doesn't mean that it makes our job easy, right? Like it's a complicated ecosystem. We make small changes here and then there are bigger ramifications somewhere else. But also it's fun. Like it's really cool to see how when my team works on changes on the profile sometimes and we move like small things here and there, like, oh no, that's actually not good for somebody who was looking for, job seekers. Or that's not great for somebody who was looking to sell their product. So there's a very complex ecosystem. But again, that's sort of the job itself. But yeah, it works because of the chaos. It's not because it's not outside of it.
So if I were to ask you as VP of product, what is your job? What is LinkedIn's job to be done?
For me?
What would you say? For LinkedIn.
For LinkedIn?
And for you. For LinkedIn.
For LinkedIn. The core job to be done for LinkedIn is to create opportunity. That is at the heart of every other job to be done. And our opportunity just takes different forms.
I like that.
Like it could be a job because you need a new one, or it could be starting a new company. It could be looking for a partner, an investor. So anyway, regardless of like the opportunity that you need in your career, LinkedIn should be the platform for it. Arguably, we're better at some versus others right now, but that's the ambition. And that's why I think the work here is never done. Because there are so many different professionals in the world and they have so many different ways of creating opportunity for themselves. And that's also shifting with AI, how opportunity gets created. So it's never ending.
Okay, it's a perfect flywheel.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Perfect flywheel of jobs. Now, I do have some more hot tea takes for you, a little bit of a rapid fire. Are you ready?
Okay. This one I'm not prepared for.
If we can cut it. Okay, Gyanda, the weirdest LinkedIn DM you've ever got.
I have to be honest, like my DMs are full of feedback. Product feedback.
And like, bro, I'm a VP of product. Like, I am not your personal PM.
But that's totally fine. Like, I apologize to people who
I've also done this, guys, by the way. I've totally tagged you before and been like, I need a product fix.
And I try my very best to respond to as many as I can, but it's hard. But it's full of product feedback. But I love it when there are days when I will get feedback about, you need to take the product entirely in this direction. And the same exact day, like, no, it has to go 180 degrees in the other direction. Like, I really don't know what to do with this.
You're
but
like,
I really appreciate the passion.
I didn't realize the CEO of LinkedIn is in my DMs today. Thank you, ma'am or sir.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
So feel free to pop into Gyanda's DMs. Her DMs are open for no, I'm just kidding. Do not do that.
But that's okay, but I may not respond.
Okay, so actually on that note, what's like a good cold DM? strategy? Like say someone wants to DM someone for a job or asking them out to a coffee. Like what's this? I feel like it's so awkward. What's the strategy?
It is awkward. I will say the best thing you can do on LinkedIn is to find a common connection. Find something in common with that person. Oftentimes it's the network that, I know Meghna, do you know that person? And I think from there it becomes a soft sort of intro and you can build on that, which by the way, our AI-powered messaging tools also do. When you write to someone, it will try to pull your common connections and common context in the opening. That's always my guidance. And then the second one I think is like just be very to the point and precise. Like a lot of people spend 2 paragraphs explaining their background before they get to the point. Like, like no one's going to get to that one. So I think it's important that you lead with some common context and then you get to the point. Some of the ones that I get, which are really well researched, where someone will say, I've seen your video about this, or I've seen your post about this, which I may have posted a year ago. And then they will say more about that product that I'm really passionate about solving this problem. Here is my idea.
Oh, I love that.
And so I think it's great to have done that research, but something in common. Like I've read it, I know someone or something.
So like 2 to 3 lines. Keep it brief. You heard it here. Okay, next one. Everyone seems to be looking for a job right now. What are your best tips for job seekers? One, many, what should people be thinking of?
Every industry is different, but I will just generalize and say what I think should be helpful to everybody. I think the first thing on LinkedIn, at least, is turn on open to work. Open to work is a feature on LinkedIn profile where you can signal to recruiters that you are looking for work. This is really helpful because think about it from the recruiter's point of view. They are reaching out to a lot of people to fill a job, and their objective is, can someone respond to me? Someone who's qualified respond to me. And so people who are open to work are more likely to respond. And so what we've seen is when you turn it on and you give that signal to recruiters, you get more views from recruiters and you can start those conversations faster. So recommend that. I think it's a good opportunity also to do things that go beyond your resume. What's not on your resume? What lessons have you learned? What is the expertise you have and only you have? Post about it, share it, because it can be super valuable to both the companies that are hiring, but also to the broader community. Leveraging the professional graph is critical these days. I think relationships are powerful. So if you know someone who knows someone, ping them.
Okay, I like that. So we have all seen that one post that drives me crazy. I am thrilled to announce. So do you have suggestions? How else can we phrase I am thrilled to announce?
I'm excited to share.
No.
I don't. Oh God!
Is it just me?
No, it's not
like
just
such a thing.
Well, we know
it's like a cringe.
The reality is like it reflects what happens in the real world, right? In the real professional world, like those moments and those milestones and celebrations are a big deal, right? So I totally get that from a job to be done perspective. But here's my advice, I guess. Like this is again. Someone shared this in my feed, so this is secondhand, but I thought it was great, which is that instead of starting with I'm thrilled to announce or share, start with what that is, and then leave the thrill part for the end, right? Like
such a simple change.
Flip the format. Because then you reach the audience with the value first, and then your feeling about that value. And my honest advice is like also share things that are not very thrilling. It's perfectly fine. Like it's okay to share things that may not feel like big moments in your career, because those can also spark conversations and lead to opportunities. So it's not just for the most exciting part of your career, but maybe the non-exciting, the things you've learned.
I love that. I think just lowering the barrier on what it takes to post is good for everyone, right? It's just when you build up, like it has to be the big job promotion, it puts too much pressure on the post. But if you're posting once a week, I think it's more conversational. It's easier. It's just less pressure per post.
100%. And then if posting is hard, commenting is easier, right? It's much easier to join a discussion than to start one. And so do that more and start becoming part of a bigger community, because then you feel less anxiety when you do share some learning and post. And so I think it's everyone, goes through this process in their own way, but I highly recommend, going beyond just those big moments when you come and post on LinkedIn about just your accomplishments, because think about all the people who are just like you but are not reaching those milestones. They will find much more encouragement if you were to share the journey versus just the destination.
Okay, so maybe on that note, if there's someone out there who wants to post on LinkedIn, but they're nervous and they're in their head about it, first time poster or something, what's your advice to them?
Yeah, my advice always is to be very authentic. So post about things that you are good at. Like just pick whatever that lane might be. It might be how hard the job market is and how I'm dealing with it. It could be a performance marketing campaign I ran and like, this is what happened. Tell me more, or how could I have done this better? It could be about the markets, like what is happening in the world right now. If you have a perspective on a piece of news, just whatever it is that you are good at. Because the moment you try to go outside that line and try to be someone you're not, that's when it becomes both hard on you as a poster, but also doesn't land well on the other side. So my advice is to start small, start with a narrow lane that you can own, and then grow from there.
I love that. Just do it and do what you know. Like keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Text okay, or should they start with video? Or like you said, it doesn't matter. It's whatever's authentic.
It doesn't matter. Whatever's authentic. I think like people find hard to start with video. I think you've done a remarkable job of shifting to that and owning that as a brand. People find it hard because you have to put yourself out there and people see you in a different light. But again, like whatever feels authentic to you works on the platform. We are not trying to optimize by format. So I have seen like people who have posted short videos and nothing else, they've done well. But I've also seen people who posted just text and done well. So there is no single formula here.
Great. Okay, so what I was going to end with, I think, was Gyanda's hot tea take. Gyanda, we have to get the hot tea take from you.
The hot tea take would be, there's so much interesting innovation happening around us, but I put it in two buckets. The first bucket is the AI hype bucket, and a lot of products are getting created literally like every single day. And then there is the AI value bucket, where products are getting created on top of this new technology because they genuinely create value in a specific job to be done. And at LinkedIn and the product launches we just talked about, we're firmly in the AI value sphere, where we want to make sure that everything we launch on top of this technology is in service of a job to be done for the members and ultimately connects them to opportunities. So it's not AI products for product's sake, but really tie it back to value instead of just the hype.
Here at LinkedIn, we hate AI hype. We love AI value.
We always love value. Yes.
Well, Gyanda, that was an amazing conversation. Thank you so much for having me today and for being on the Tea and Tech.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Okay, we got to do it again.
Let's do it.